The ink wasn't even dry before the silence fell. Full custody. Not shared. Not supervised weekends. Full legal and physical custody of Archie and Lilibet awarded to Prince Harry. No spousal support. No custodial rights. And the most stunning blow of all, immediate deportation proceedings looming over Meghan Markle like a final curtain call no one saw coming. This wasn't a compromise. It was a collapse. We are digging deeper into this scandal than anyone else, so make sure you've hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the update coming later this week. Because what happened inside that Los Angeles courtroom wasn't just a celebrity divorce. It was the unraveling of a love story that once promised fairy tale redemption. And for many women who remember the wedding, the white dress, the whispered hope that this modern American duchess might soften centuries of royal rigidity, this feels like betrayal layered on top of heartbreak. The case, filed in the Los Angeles Superior Court in February 2026, ended a 16-month custody war that began quietly back in October 2024. At first, it seemed like so many high-profile separations, irreconcilable differences, polite language, polished statements. But beneath that polished surface, court documents tell a very different story. The judge, Patricia Morrison, did not mince words. In her final ruling, she described what she called a consistent pattern of behavior designed to undermine the children's relationship with their father. That phrase alone is devastating. In family court, judges are careful. They rarely accuse. They weigh. They balance. They soften. Not this time. And that's why this matters. Because this isn't simply about who won and who lost. It's about what happens when silence breaks. When private grievances become public evidence. When the very thing a mother claims to protect her children becomes the battleground. For years, the world watched the Duke and Duchess of Sussex step away from royal life in 2020. Interviews followed. Allegations. Pain. Accusations of coldness, racism, isolation. Many women saw in Meghan a symbol of speaking out, of refusing to be silenced. But what the public didn't see, what was hidden behind carefully curated appearances, was the custody evaluation ordered after Harry filed for separation. And here's where the story turns. But what the palace didn't know was that the American court system would demand proof. In November 2024, Judge Morrison appointed a forensic psychologist, Dr. Rebecca Chun, to conduct a comprehensive custody evaluation. 6 months, hundreds of interviews, thousands of messages reviewed, psychological testing, home visits, staff testimony. This was not gossip. It was methodical. Dr. Chin's final report, 237 pages, became the spine of the court's decision. And according to those findings, violations of temporary custody orders began almost immediately after separation proceedings started. 43 documented violations. Medical appointments scheduled during Harry's custodial time. International travel overlapping his parenting days. Claims the children were ill only for public appearances to surface later. Refusals at exchange times. Communication outside the court-approved system. 43 times. But what makes that number heavier isn't the math. It's the message. Family courts operate on one principle: the best interest of the child. Judges expect compliance, especially after warnings. And there were warnings. Yet the pattern continued. But what stunned evaluators most were the interviews with Archie, who was 5 at the time. Through play therapy and storytelling exercises, he reportedly made statements suggesting his father made mommy cry, that his father chose his old family over us, and that spending time with him would make his mother lonely. Those are complex emotional narratives for a 5-year-old. Dr. Chin noted that the phrasing reflected adult framing. Follow-up interviews revealed inconsistencies. The language shifted when questioned gently. And then came the staff testimony. A former nanny testified that comments were made in the children's presence implying their father didn't truly want to see them, that his family disliked them. That delays meant lack of care. 3 additional staff members echoed similar observations. When multiple independent witnesses described the same pattern, judges take notice. But the court didn't stop there. There were 78 alleged violations of communication rules. The court had required all parental communication to occur through a monitored platform. Instead, there were texts, calls, messages relayed through staff, even children used as messengers. Every timestamp preserved, every exchange documented. And then came the financial disclosures. Under California law, both parties must submit sworn financial statements. According to forensic accounting testimony, Meghan's disclosures understated income and overstated expenses. Property valuations appeared reduced. Income streams allegedly higher than reported. These documents were signed under penalty of perjury. In family court, credibility is everything. Once a judge begins to question it, the foundation cracks. But perhaps most emotionally charged were the allegations of interference with extended family relationships, video calls canceled, visits declined, statements portraying relatives negatively. For women who understand the importance of grandparents, cousins, family roots, that detail cuts deep. Dr. Chen emphasized that children benefit from stable extended family connections. Judge Morrison wrote that depriving children of those relationships due to personal grievances reflects serious parenting deficiencies. And then, perhaps most dramatic of all, there were reported attempts to relocate the children outside California without proper authorization. In an active custody case, relocation is a red line. It can shift jurisdiction. It complicates litigation. It suggests instability. The judge interpreted these attempts as efforts that could disrupt the children's established environment during ongoing proceedings. And that's when the tide turned fully. After reviewing months of testimony, psychological testing, communication logs, passport records, and financial disclosures, the court made its final determination. Full custody to Harry. No visitation pending therapeutic intervention. No spousal support. And deportation proceedings triggered due to immigration status complications following the divorce settlement. The language of the ruling was firm, almost clinical. But beneath it lies something raw. This was not a split-the-difference judgment. It was a finding that one parent's documented behavior demonstrated consistent disregard for legal requirements and the children's welfare. For women who have lived long enough to see marriages fracture, who have witnessed custody fights among friends, or even within their own families, this story hits differently. It isn't about tabloid headlines. It's about how quickly narratives can shift. The woman once presented as isolated and wrong now stands painted by court findings as obstructive and deceptive. The prince once criticized as detached now emerges legally validated as primary protector. But here's the part that lingers long after the headlines fade. Children grow up. One day, Archie and Lilibet will read these documents. They will see phrases like parental alienation. They will see the numbers 43 violations, 78 communication breaches. They will read that a judge determined one parent placed personal agenda above their welfare. That is a weight no public relations strategy can erase. The emotional toll on everyone involved is impossible to measure. A father who fought for his children in court. A mother whose public identity was intertwined with advocacy and voice, now facing judicial condemnation. Two children at the center of a global narrative they never chose. Fairy tales rarely prepare us for family court. And perhaps that is the most sobering truth of all. Power, wealth, titles. None of it shielded either party from scrutiny. The American court system did not bow to royalty. It asked for documentation, compliance, credibility. And when those failed, it acted. So now the question isn't just what happens next legally. It's what happens emotionally. Can relationships be rebuilt after findings like these? Can therapy bridge what courtrooms divide? Can public figures ever truly separate private healing from public spectacle? For many of you watching, you've seen families survive worse. You've seen mothers redeemed, fathers forgiven, children resilient beyond imagination. But you've also seen the damage when adults let pride overshadow peace. This story leaves us with an uncomfortable mirror. When conflict escalates, when silence turns to strategy, when children become symbols instead of souls, who really wins? I want to know what you think. Do you believe the court got it right based on the documented evidence? Or do you feel there is more beneath the surface that we still don't see? Tell me in the comments. Because this isn't just a royal story. It's a human one.